Republicans focusing, of course, on tax reform as they're now on recess, so we think that'll be the big topic when everybody comes back, amid growing talk now that Democrats could be invited to the table. The House Republican Conference Chair is Cathy McMorris Rodgers, and she joins us right now. And good to see you, Congresswoman. I guess the idea of bringing Democrats to the table is something that sounds good. Everybody wants to say, oh, let's be bipartisan. But we've talked so much about tax reform. If you start bringing Democrats into the discussion, does that mean that it'll be watered down?
Well, not watered down. Our goal on tax reform has always been to bring down tax rates, close loopholes, get our economy growing, and allow people to keep more of their hard-earned tax dollars. That's going to continue to be our goal. We have been talking about this for months, for years, actually, and now is the time for action. And as we're home in our districts, I know that as I get around Eastern Washington, I hear a lot of people asking about tax reform. People are anxious for Congress, for the president to take action, a once-in-a-generation opportunity to enact meaningful tax reform.
So what do they want? Do they want something to get done, or do they want you to swing for the fences? What do people want when they, because that would matter in terms of getting the Democrats involved versus going it alone. What are people telling you?
Right. Well, people are telling me that they want both the individual and the corporate tax reform. For individuals, it's what we've been proposing is a collapsing of the tax rates down to three main brackets. For corporate tax reform, it's bringing down those tax rates, closing the loopholes. We have the highest corporate tax rate now in the world. And as you think about businesses that are relocating their headquarters or being bought out by others around the world, we want those businesses here in America. We want people to believe that they can start a business, grow a business, and do it right here in America. Produce, manufacture in a competitive way. And that's why tax reform is so important.
We were showing some of the numbers that the president has proposed, or the administration has proposed, and we expect more details after Congress gets back, I would think. But just say, for example, on corporate rates, 35 down to 15, even maybe you don't get down that far, but on the three brackets individually, make it simple, 3 instead of 7, 10, 25, and 35. I could be reading this completely wrong, but I find it hard to believe you're going to get this done, at least by the end of this year, or at all. And maybe we're all just tired of watching how everything is operated with regard to health care, and you just look at it and say, boy, I don't know how they're going to do this. And in terms of making anything bipartisan, name a Democrat that would work with this administration. I mean, to be fair, the president's had enough trouble with his own party, more or less getting anybody else on board.
Well, I think you're ignoring that there's been a lot of work that's already been done, and that this is a once-in-a-generation opportunity for tax reform. This is seen as something that is a must-do, and doing the big things is never easy. But we have in the House, we've been having hearings. We've been working on this for years, and there's been a lot of work done in a bipartisan way. For many years, we've been the Ways and Means Committee has been holding hearings, but also having working groups. 12 different working groups by different members of the Ways and Means Committee, each one led by a Republican and a Democrat. Okay. So there's been a lot of bipartisan work done for many years.
So which has the most support there? Corporate would have the most support, do you think, on when you talk about bipartisan support?
I think that is true, that there's been more bipartisan support on the corporate tax reform side. But this is a time to do both, that we need both individual and corporate tax reform.
What if you can't, though, Congresswoman, with all due respect? What if you can't? Would you settle for just doing something as opposed to just striking out, so to speak, as it appears to be the case, at least for now, with health care? Would you just get something done?
Well, I'm not ready to give up on that. I think that this is our time. There's an intensity that this has to be done, both in the House and the Senate and the administration. And again, the House, the Senate, the administration has been meeting for weeks on this. Speaker Paul Ryan, Chairman Kevin Brady, Senator Hatch, Senator McConnell, Gary Cohen, Mnuchin, Stephen Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary. They've been meeting every week to hammer out an outline. And just the end of July, you saw where the Speaker pulled away from the border adjustment tax in an effort to reach a consensus on how we move forward in the fall.
Yes.
There is a desire, there is a belief that this is a must-do, and that this is our time, this is our moment. So we're just getting started on this.
A lot of people are anxious to get you guys back to see if it actually does happen. Thank you, Congresswoman. Good to talk to you.